Having trouble getting your child to communicate? There's an easy trick, one that I used in Worry Kids, a special activity, the high and low point. This became sacred in Worry Kids. If I didn't do this, the kids would get upset with me, the students that came along. Every class, the students expected to have the high and low point. Now, when I was first starting Worry Kids back in 1994, I was experimenting a lot. And now let's be real, to begin with, my classes were martial arts. They were very physical and active. But when I started to bring in the high and low point, it became a core ingredient of the classes and a must. Like I said, if I didn't do it, children got upset. They would come bursting into the class with news, with things that they wanted to say. High and low point was a loved activity, very popular, and it's a hit with kids. And I used it with my own children, being a single parent. And even when me and my partner were back together, I still continued it. It was brilliant. It got them to share, got them to talk. It's very simple. You can do it at the dinner table, when you're all seated together and got your meal, you can share a high and low point. Or in the car. Car is brilliant, picking the children up after school or going out somewhere. It's a good thing to do it every day because then it becomes a habit. It's unintrusive as well because it's up to this child what they choose to share. High point, low point. High point, something that they really liked, that they really enjoyed from their day. Something that they were excited about. Now, in my class of Worry Kids, that high point could have been from the past, could be from the present, or something coming up in the future. And it's the same with my kids, really. They were looking forward to something. Low point, something they did not like, something that they were maybe a bit disappointed about, or a letdown, or just a low point in the day. In the Worry Kids class, of course, that could have been from the past, could have been from the present, or even a low point coming up in the future. For example, a low point in the future in the class would have been things like a friend's moving away and I'm not going to see them. Things like that. Or a teacher's leaving school. There's so many reasons. High point, low point. Very simple, very clear. Now, in the class setting, we had a cush ball, and the cush ball would be passed around. So I would pass it to someone who was ready to share. I would always have to explain the boundaries of high point and low point so that everybody knew what to expect, the guidelines, really clear. And so if someone was ready to share, I would pass them the cush ball and they would begin to tell their high point and low point. When the person's talking, everybody else is expected just to listen. Within Worry Kids, at times I would prompt. I might ask for more information. So, for example, the kid might say that on the weekend they got to see their dad, and my question might be to them, I would start off, that's really wonderful to hear, that's great. And how long did you get to spend with your dad? So, or what did you do? I would allow them to elaborate and go further. Same with the low point. Again, letting the person speak or asking questions that allow them to elaborate more what they're talking. Avoid talking over them. Avoid any sort of correcting or don't allow anyone else to jump in with their own news or anything like that. Let the person be heard. We all want to be heard. It's so important to be heard, to be listened to. And this allows our children to have this space. Believe me, you will notice a difference just in your child's manner and their behaviour from being listened to, from being heard in such a structured way. I have had families come up to me, parents come up to me in the street and just tell me how much the high and low point had made a difference in their lives just because of the sharing. And you have to share too. Don't forget that. Once you've listened to your child share their high point and low point, or each family member, you take your turn, because you get to lead by example. And you get to elaborate and share about your high and your low point. And that's very important, because it allows the children to hear from you and your day. And they get to understand, So the skills here are learning to share and to listen. Learning to share and to listen. By practicing this, we are giving our children more language that they can use. And like I said, from you sharing, you're going to open them up to what's happening for you in your life. And this can lead to other discussions, of what's happening. And, I would be honest with my kids, to a certain degree, of course. Being a parent, you're obviously going to be dealing with more adult issues at times. You don't want to go into all those sorts of stuff. And, this is not a time, if you're separated, this is not a time to talk badly about your ex or anything like that. This is just simply about your day. So, for example, my high point today was that I have managed to actually sit down and do this video. Yes, that's a high point. Getting it done, wonderful. Low point, there's a lot of noise outside, and I'm worried that that's going to come in on the speaker. So that would be my low point. All that noise outside, I'm conscious of. It's a bit quieter than what it was. Where I live, the street can get pretty loud, so can't always control that sound. So that would be my high and low point. So there's an example for you. Also, with our children being able to share like this, it gets them to debrief. It gets them to really consider and think about what happened in their day, to think about the things that they do like and what they don't like. And it allows them to find that language and to explore their feelings and their behaviours around certain things. A high point could be for them that they stuck up for someone at school. Wow, man, that's an opportunity. I would explore that big time. I would want them to elaborate more on what happened. I'd encourage them that they did the right thing, if they did the right thing. I want to know the steps that they took and to celebrate those. Same with the low point. Okay, so you got in trouble at school. Okay, that's really sad to hear. What happened? Well, what could you do different next time? You see, I'm not condemning, I'm not jumping in, I'm not trying to correct them. This is an exploration that we go into together. What this has meant for me and my kids, and within Worry Kids, is that I've become a trusted confidant. And so much to the point where my kids will come and express very personal things to me, will come and talk to me about things that are going on. I started that when they were tiny, when they were very small, 5 years old, and so on. Even 4 actually, because they just jumped in, Worry Kids, and joined in. And that continued right up through until their teenage years. So even in their teenage years, it was established, because like I said, we were doing it almost daily. So there were days, some days we didn't do it, but it was almost daily that we did it. And because of that, now when they became teenagers and now they're adults, young adults, well no, you don't say young adults, they're adults, and they still confide and share in me with what's going on in their life. It's great. It works. It's very effective. High and low point. Give it a go. Make it a practice in your family. Up the communication and enjoy.